I love the franchising model. I love the gratification you get from putting somebody in business and watching them become successful. That's just a huge deal of gratification. And it's not like work.
Welcome back to Kim Daly TV. Another special guest for you guys today. This guy, Tim Evankovich, has been involved in franchising for a long time. Tim, welcome to Kim Daly TV.
Thanks, Kim. Great to be here with you today.
I'm really happy to have you here to share some insights. So you are a serial franchisor. You built a company, sold it, probably thought you could retire, realized you were too type A. I don't know. You're going to tell your own story. Then jump back into the game with a totally different business. So set it up. What were you thinking? Why did you start the new company that you're in today?
Sure. I think serial franchisor is a true term for me. I think that fits. Because after I sold the first company and way too young to retire, I like golf. I don't love golf. I like to keep active, and I love the franchising model. I love the gratification you get from putting somebody in business and watching them become successful. That's just a huge deal of gratification and enjoying what you do. And you put good people around you, and it's not like work. I love coming to work every day. Can't wait to get here. Awesome team. And so, I think I'll do this for a while longer.
Another franchisor. How does the Daly coach find these franchisors who actually love their franchisees?
I think we're few and far, well, not few and far between, but there's a lot of us out there, because if you truly care about your franchisees and wanting them to be successful, and realizing as a franchisor, you're only as successful as your weakest franchisee. So you got to build everybody up to get to the level they want to be at and you want to see them at. So, it's just again, I'm very biased of the franchise model. Been in it for so long, almost 30 years. So it's kind of fun.
And that's the advantage, guys, right? Listeners out there, when you're investing, what does the Daly coach always say to you first and foremost? When you're investing in a franchise, are you buying a widget? No, no, no. You're buying people. You're buying Tim Evankovich. You're buying 30 years of experience in building multiple franchise systems. So when you look at the business he's in today, it's not just the moment he's in right now, it's the experience and the track record that this man has in franchising. That's ultimately what you're buying. So, Tim, talk about the business that you're in today.
Oasis Senior Advisors is really, in my eyes, a very philanthropic opportunity, right? And I think it's an opportunity from a franchisor perspective to not only help people get into small business ownership, but it's also an opportunity to help people, right? What we do, we are a placement service for seniors, meaning we're going to help families find the right assisted living or memory care for their elderly loved ones who can no longer safely live at home. Ideally, would love them to stay and age in place in their home as long as possible. But when it's not safe, folks hire us. We're a free service to the family and the senior, making sure we find that perfect fit for them, again, to keep them safe and secure.
Making money and feeling good about what you do every day. Your franchisees must feel sort of like angels coming in, and really helping families in that transitional time. Because look, nobody really wants to have to put grandma, grandpa, or mom and dad right into a home, but at some point, it's necessary sometimes, right? So, Tim, what happened to your business in 2020 and now into 2021?
It was, I wouldn't say a crushing blow, but it was certainly felt within our industry, because certainly the communities were shut down, the hospitals were shut down, and that was really our livelihood. So we had to kind of revamp and retool to figure out how to do business in that environment. And credit to my team, but especially my franchisees. We all got our heads together and came up with our new marketing strategy of one call, many solutions. And within 6 months, we were back to pre-COVID numbers. So again, just a lot of great people in my franchisees who I do love. And yes, they do get called angels quite frequently, by the way, again, pulling together and figuring out how to do business. And, from handing iPads through windows and having directors walk through their community and say, hey, give me a video of your community so I can share it with a potential client of yours. But we got it done. And yeah, like I said, 6, 7 months, we were back to pre-COVID numbers and now rocking and rolling again.
Another example of how franchising wins when we come together collaboratively, collectively, right? There were probably mom and pop businesses in the same industry who out there on your own, you're on an island and you get paralyzed and you can't figure out how to work your way out of the box, right? But together in a franchise, people can come together with strong leadership and figure out not just how to survive, but figure out how to get back to thriving within 6 months. Like, that's amazing. What are you most looking forward to into 2022 for your particular business right now with your franchisees?
Yeah, I think a couple things. You hit the nail on the head, Kim, when you said collaborative effort. And I think the strongest franchise companies and organizations really look to their franchisees for feedback and input. It's sometimes so easy for a franchisor to sit back and say, oh, our franchisees, they need this and they need this. But isn't it just smarter just to ask them, what's going to help your business? What's going to help you in your daily business life be more successful, be more efficient, be more effective? So, as we look at 2022 and we started our business planning last month for rolling into the new year, that's one of the things that we're going to do more heavily. Is reach out to our franchisees, put a few more committees together, an IT committee, a marketing committee, and really use their insight because they're the ones in the daily trenches, right? With their short of the wheel, nose to the grindstone, doing this work. So let's figure out what we can do together and provide them as a franchisor and support to get them over humps or issues or challenges that they may have. So that's one for sure. And then the second thing we're looking at in 2022, as the world continues to open up, as does the US and the hotspots and all of that with COVID, we're really looking to get back at the business where we were 2 years ago, right? We got through COVID great. We're rolling, everything's wonderful. But now we see that piece that we were doing before, we can now add to what we're doing again, and it's just going to explode once again. So yeah, 2022 is can't wait for it to get here.
It's an example of how in business, like you can stay focused on what isn't working or what's wrong, but doesn't really get you anywhere good, but sometimes when you're faced, with a problem and you're willing to look for opportunity, you end up somewhere you might not have ever ended up.
Exactly right. Exactly right. We had a great business model working wonderfully. COVID threw a monkey wrench into it, retooled, going great now, but we can still now go back to the old model and pull so much of that into what we're doing now to benefit our franchisees. So it's going to be a fun year, no question.
Listeners, this just speaks to the idea that a business is not like a one and done, like I purchased it, it's a business in a box. A business is a living, breathing, dynamic environment where you, Mr. Franchisee, are the biggest determining factor to your success in that business. But you want to be partnered with people like Tim, who have years of experience in business, who now have experience making it through a pandemic. Let's check that box on the resume. Hopefully that's a one and done actually for our lifetime. Enough is enough. But you want to be partnered with people so that you're not on an island, so that you're not out there trying to figure it out on your own, that you have a system, you have people, you have a track record of success behind you that enables you to comfortably take that leap from wherever you are into this business and know that there's a safety net there to catch you, that there are people there to guide and support you at every step of your ramp as you build your business. I love it, Tim. I love it, love it, love it. So one final question. So you mentioned that you've been in franchising for 30 years. What is like your biggest takeaway from being involved in this industry that's not an industry for the last 30 years?
Yeah, that's a great analogy to look at, like kind of 10,000 foot view level. What did it look like, or what's the change that we're seeing happening? And I think the biggest thing is franchisors like myself are getting smarter, right? You made a good point that your business evolves. It's always evolving, as is franchisors and support and all that goes with it. But I think, again, the franchisors are just getting smarter and getting better at supporting their franchisees and realizing, having now so many great successful franchise organizations out there, how are they doing it? What are they doing it? And so many are piggybacking on top of that, learning from themselves. The newer franchisors, as they grow in 1, 3, 5 years down the road, are just getting better, and they're getting better faster, right? Because they see what success looks like and how that model is placed into the franchisee's hands. That's what I'm seeing most. Just franchising in general is just getting stronger.
I love that. And what Tim is speaking to, or there are different like events, like the springboard event, right? For new emerging franchisors, where franchisors, look, we're an industry of people helping people, right? So even among franchisors, experienced franchisors come back to help emerging franchisors. It's not just a franchisor to a franchisee. It can be peer-to-peer training, franchisor to franchisor. Our entire industry is made up of people helping people at whatever level you're at. Sometimes our W-2, corporate refugee people are so shocked when they come to the idea of a franchise and they are able to go out and talk to other franchisees. And they come back to me and say, I can't believe these people gave me a half an hour, or were so open about sharing what they do and how they do it so that I can take, that methodology and take it into my business. And it's so contrary to so many other industries that are out there. But that's part of what makes Tim and I passionate about what we do every day, is that there isn't this sort of like cutthroat, backstabbing, ladder climbing, environment. This is a totally collaborative, cooperative environment where literally people care about people. People want to help people, and sadly or not so sadly in our industry, once we suck you in, once we pull you in, you cannot escape. Is that true?
Very true.
How
Very
many
true.
franchise developers do you know started in one company and then there's no more territory? Like, we don't let them leave and go get some other sales job somewhere else. We bring them over to another company, right? We want to keep
Absolutely.
everybody in the family.
Yep. It is. It is. It tends to be very incestuous. We share lots of stuff, and it's.
I wasn't going to use that word, but you can.
I can't. You better not. It's your radio show, so.
Hey guys, Tim is a longtime friend of mine. This conversation is just, it's like the icing on the cake to my day, but this is how we do business in the franchise industry. And this is why I want to help you begin your journey into franchising. If you're inspired to learn more about a business that fits your background, interests, skills, and goals, I want to be your daily coach. If you're interested in the Oasis Senior Advisors business, I want to be your daily coach. Let's have you leave a comment below. You can email me directly, kim@thedailycoach.com. Give me the opportunity to get you pre-qualified. Give me the opportunity to do the territory check for you to make sure that it's open and viable. And then I'll lead you back over to Tim so that he or his team can help you get up the learning curve of his business. But maybe there's another business for you as well. So thank you so much for being my special guest today, Tim Evankovich.
Pleasure, Kim. Always a pleasure.
Thank you. And thank you to all you listeners for watching this video all the way through. If you've enjoyed the video, do not forget to like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell so every time I put out a new video, you can catch it. And if I can do anything to help you today, please leave a comment below, or again, reach directly out to the Daily Coach. Until next time, I am Kim Daly.